Testing. We're good. We're good. All right. I want to talk about Pokemon, and people just keep on doing this to the point where it's like, I just want to talk. So, if you ever seen Futurama, it's like, no, don't do the Blinky Wheel, or no, don't shoot the Bluey Blessing thing. That is what basically I am when it comes to the whole thing of re-release them, release red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal, and I'm like, whoa, 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 you don't understand, do you? I don't even think the ones who actually back in the day was like you should do it knew what they were doing because it's like I have them on 3DS. I was able to get the games before they closed the eShop, and I am complaining because it's like I didn't get the games before the get go, so I kind of should be able to complain. Which I'm like, in Heart Gold Soul Silver, you had the special thing of where you can click it and you're able to turn it from Game Boy Color sound to sound of the DS. Red and blue is Game Boy looking. They don't have Game Boy Color. And that's what I'm like. Yes, they don't have the toggle. It'll be like, put it on Game Boy Color, put it on Game Boy, put it on Game Boy Color, put it on Game Boy. They don't have it there, so I'm playing the old version. And I'm like, I'm used to the Game Boy Color. Which, you know what that means. That means that if you guys are like, oh, we wanted to be on the Switch, red and blue will not look exactly the way you played it if you played it on Game Boy Color. So you don't know exactly what you're asking for. What you should do is the best thing ever is make sure you know what you're asking for. If you're asking for them, make sure you add them that they should put the toggle to make it actually look like Game Boy Color too. You know, that would be great. If I'm playing Pokemon Green, which they would never release it, but let's say if they did release it, and they just decide Pokemon Green to be the Pokemon Zero of the world for us in North America and everyone else, then yes, that should just be an original Game Boy form. Yes, that makes sense. But Red and Blue was introduced to us, and the Game Boy Color was technically there as well. Many of us, for the most part, we all played it on the Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance. Either way, it's the same new color palette that we had versus original Game Boy. It was just green screen with black. I was not down with that at all. It kind of made it like less nostalgic, if you want to call it that. So please make sure you know what are you asking for. Because if you don't know what you're asking for, we'll get that. And I'm like, oh, great. Y'all guys blew it again. You don't know what you're asking for. You blew it again. Good job, you morons. Good job. You always blow it up. You blew it up and you screwed us so many times, you know. You made that guy cry, and there we go with this whole thing, and we're like, you Pokemon on the Switch, do it. All y'all freaking idiot morons, and you made him cry, and then that's why you got Sword and Shield, and you're like, oh, it's like Luster, it's not really, because they weren't ready for it, you idiots. They weren't ready, and you freaking dropped, you freaking you threw it. You screwed up. You screwed up. You should be taking responsibility. Yeah, but it was Nintendo and Game Freak. It's like, no, they weren't ready. Game Freak was not ready. Like, look at all the previous games. I have to keep on going. Like, look at all the previous games. When it went to Game Boy Advance, when it went to Nintendo DS, when it went to the 3DS, did you have any complaints then? The correct answer is no. Why? Because they were ready. They were prepared. You damn morons. So yeah, just shut the fuck up. I think they finally shut the fuck up. I think that's the good news. With Legends ZA, they finally learned to shut the fuck up, which thank goodness. Now stay shut the fuck up because we don't want to have it happen all over again because you won't shut the fuck up. I'm glad you now learned how to be patient, but just well, be patient and shut the fuck up. Be patient and shut the fuck up. That's all we gotta do. Be patient and shut the fuck up. So I guess the thing to really talk about is what's next. What's on next? I know for a fact that the Switch is about to go to the sidelines. I know, I understand that. And the good news is that I'm not what I used to be because, if you were talking about someone like when when Pokemon X and Y came out, I was screwed because I had no idea what I'm going to do, how I'm going to actually afford the handheld system, how I'm going to do it. I had no idea. I had no plan. I had no way to get money. I had to freaking squeeze as much funds as I can, any way I can, to get the handheld and the two games. And it worked out, especially when it got the 2DS. It worked out. And then, of course, when the Switch came out, I was okay. I was okay to an extent, but I was definitely okay. I was able to finally buy the the Switch Lite for Sword and Shield. Got the two games. Ever since I am good. Never owned a Switch all by myself for the first time. Switch Lites, yes, I have two of them. But Pokemon. And you're like, oh, but they already did that. They did that for Let's Go Pikachu Special Eevee. No. They did it for Scarlet and Violet. No. I didn't like their designs. I didn't really care for them. That's why I didn't buy them. I just wanted the Pokemon design, the Pokeball. You see your screen? That's all I wanted. And sadly, I had to make it my own self, and I did. It took a white Joy-Con to the red Joy-Con. Oh my gosh, I made the Pokeball edition that I wanted so badly. Yeah, it gets very sad to where it's like that's all you really had to do. Take a red Joy-Con, take a white Joy-Con, put them together. There you are. All you really need to do is maybe on the side of the Joy-Con you put black. So it's like, and maybe even a circle on it. You might even could do something crazy, and the joysticks actually have the circle on it too, the white circle. That would have been cool. That would have been awesome. But no. So I guess the good news, well, the bad news is that for Legends EA, they didn't do it. Legends EA, they just gave us a normal one, and bada boom, there you go. Instead of, you know, maybe making it like crystallizing, maybe green with some red inside of it, because they already do that for the Joy-Cons. They have some red and blue inside of it. And you just have some green shelling on the side of it. I would have bought it. I would have bought a Switch too. I would have 100% bought one. Yeah, I would have bought it. But instead, it's like, nah. It's like, nah. And it gets even crazier where it's like, okay, so then how are we going to even do this? It's like, yeah, because I'm gonna have to ditch my Switch Lite, which I'm cool to put it back in a box and keep it not sealed anymore, but I would be cool with that. And then I need to transfer all of the data from the Switch into the Switch 2. Yeah, I think that's almost like or it could be actually a Switch 2 Micro. It's like, yeah, the Switch Micro. It's not going to be like what you think. It's not going to be what you think. But if they do the Switch Micro, which that's just a name, I'm just doing it because of Game Boy Micro. But a Game Boy Micro didn't do too well, so it equals to where they most likely might not pick that name. So I'm good for it. It's like I'm fine. I'm not hurting. I'm good for it. Yeah, it's like, yep, you get Generation 10 over there. Are they gonna do Let's Go? Finally, Let's Go Johto, Let's Go Cleffa, Let's Go Togepi, Let's Go Pichu. I hope so. I really do hope so. Pokemon Johto came out like, well, technically it's last year. It's like, yeah, last year would have been 10 years. But yeah, anyways, it's like, yeah, the Let's Go series should continue on, and I guess they're just making it once per console, even though they double dipped the chip on Switch. It's like, yeah, they double dipped the chip ever since the 3DS. It's like, yeah. No, 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 no. Since the DS, they double dipped the ship because it's like, okay, you got Diamond and Pearl, all right, then Black and White. Wait, whoa, 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 what? And then it's like we got X and Y, okay, then Sun and Moon. Wait, what? It's like yeah, it's like they broke the mold with the DS system, where it's like there you go, and it's like I wouldn't have been surprised if they allowed, which will they allow it? Not sure. I have no idea. It's like yeah, I have no idea, but I'm pretty sure maybe not. Where it's like, yeah, Generation 10, the Switch and Switch 2. I don't think they'll do it. I would hope they maybe do it, not because I'm hurting, just because it'll break the mold again, where it's like, oh, so three generations in a system. Three generations. I see now. Versus apparently two is just the max. We only get two generations, and sadly, we don't get to have double the remakes. I would kind of hope so, but apparently, no, no go, no. So as soon as Black and White, which Black and White already reached the mark of being, it's been 15 years, they got to do something with Black and White. Black 3, White 3 will be okay. Pokemon Legends Ultimate Original Dragon, which it needs to happen. I don't care about Pokemon Legends Johto. Who cares about Pokemon Legends Johto? Who cares? They'd even bring back the stuff that they could do now in the Pokemon games. Sprout Tower used to be supposed to be like 9 stories tall. Did they put that back in there? No, they didn't put that in there at all. Man, what? It's like yeah, it's like what? It's like they can't do anything with Lugia. It's like the funniest part is like yeah, you could do something with Lugia, but it's like he got the stupid movie. The only thing you could do is just make the movie that was there, the original second movie. Allow that to actually be a part of the game, finally. And bring back the Sevi Islands and turn them into the Orange Islands. Bring some of the anime stuff into the video game. They did some of the hard work for you. You might as well bring it in here. Bring it in, man. Bring it in. The thing is, like, the stuff that they deleted, I would love them to put it back. And that's always what I said, even though it's not here, but on record elsewhere. I did want them to actually get their old stuff that they had and they would put it back into the game because now they have the data enough to do it. Only messed up part is like the ones that might have done it might have actually have moved on. Doug took them. But I'm like, yeah, but I would like to have the original stuff. It's like, yeah, I wish they could have kept the original copy of it without burning, and someday they were able to just release the original copies. That's for the whole one, which of course I have it. Because like, of course I got it, which was the Pokemon Gold Space Edition, Space 96. You can keep that buried. You don't have to release that one. You can keep it buried. You don't need it. Yeah, we don't need it at all. You keep it buried. It's a crazy game. I didn't even finish it, but I can tell you it's a crazy game. You don't need to bring it. Some of the Pokemon that was on there, you could try to bring them somewhere, you know. Pokepedia. Pokopia. No, it's Pokovia. It'd be cool to have that game though. Like Switch 2 is having some interesting stuff where it's like, well, there's a few things that you would like to have. Of course, you want to have the Mario Party. I mean, sorry, Mario Kart. Of course, you have the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of a few games, which I'm pretty sure you're able to just get the original cartridge and do it. Which again, I kind of like a little teeny tiny bit want to have the Switch 2 version of Legends ZA, just because. It's like, yeah, I've already got two games. Like, why do you need the other game? It's like, yeah, it's true. It's like, it's true. It's like, why do I need to have another copy if I already have one copy? Even though technically, one copy is not really enough. It's like, yeah, it's like the good news of having a Switch was already said this once. And I'll say it again. You can have multiple saves on the Switch without having to delete any save whatsoever. That's beautiful. The only messed up part is like when you want to trade with yourself, now it's just one game. It's like now it's just one game. And now you can't really trade with yourself. You have to still get another copy of the game to trade with you. That sucks. That one sucks. That one kind of sucks. It's like that's the drawback. So, so I think is gonna happen this year is like just going by Austin Johns talking. It's like yeah, it's like mysticals come back. It's like all the mysticals you're able to grab almost any of them. One you're gonna most likely you gotta look out for is Victini. It's like you gotta look out for that one. If that one shows up, you know for a fact they're doing something with Uniform. You know for some way they're doing something with Uniform. You know. And it's weird that Unova has a small connection. Well, it's because they needed to get the fusion devices for Q Realm, and that's why Colas is there. Other than that, it's like they wouldn't have put him in there, which I kind of thought. Seeing how Zygar formed, I'm like, oh, they're just gonna do what they did with Q Realm. He's gonna get fused with um Yveltal and Xeranos. Most like I'm saying it wrong, so, but whatever, screw you. It's like, yeah, but it's like I thought that was gonna happen. It's like, oh, we're doing this again. We're doing this again. Oh, oh, great. Oh, joy, we're doing this again. And it's kind of funny where it's like it repeated itself. It's like, yeah, it repeated itself because like black and white, you have Q Realm fusing with either Reshiram or Zekrom. X and Y, it could have been Zygar fusing with Yveltal and Xernas. And then Sun and Moon did the same exact thing. Necrozma? Yeah, Necrozma fused with Solgaleo or Lunala. You see what happened is like, what the heck? What the heck? And they broke the mold when it came to Sword and Shield, given there's really nothing Sword and Shield could give you, though. It's like, yeah, at least the DLC, but I'm just saying, just the plain vanilla version, it's like you didn't give us anything, which is like, yes, it's because y'all guys wanted it so hard to be on the Switch that they didn't give us anything in the end credits that actually was usable. It's like it wasn't nothing was there. There was just a small post game, no legendaries or anything. And then they smacked us with the DLC, which is like, yeah, I'm pretty sure maybe Sword and Shield might have been on 3DS. Might. So it's kind of just sucky. And it's even worse that you guys called them out on it, being like, "Oh, you had to work real hard, and then you took his stuff from X and Y, and it's like, dude, y'all guys are the ones who asked for them to freaking hurry up and put it on a Switch. You can't now basically call them out on it, even though you wanted it on it as fast as possible. You guys didn't have patience back then. And now you want to just point fingers, being like, "Oh, well, we want you fast and quick, but we want you to actually do it the way and do it new and do what you say you do." It's like, dude, then it would took time. And then you're going to complain about them taking too much time on the game that you guys forced them to make in the first damn place. They were going to make it, but they were going to make it on their own time. Look at Legends game. Look at the Legends games. This was done on their own time. Look at them. Then look at Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet. This is what happens when you guys were becoming competing. This is what happens when you guys were being extremely jerky and piece of trash. This is what happened. You get old and busted and new hotness. Old and busted, new hotness. You got Sword and Shield where they had to go for it and run for it and make the game. It's a good game, but y'all guys have nitpicks. Lots and lots of nitpicks. Then, sadly, they had to make a run because, well, you know, y'all guys basically made a mush as fast as possible, and Nintendo noticed it and said, "Oh, you can make a game that fast? Do that for someone. Do that Scarlet and Violet." And that's what happened. So if you didn't rush them to make the game, then Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet would be looking better than what they are, and perform better than what they are versus what y'all freaking damn did, which is rush them. And now Nintendo's like, "Oh, you can do it that fast, so do Scarlet and Violet that fast as well." You see? And they had to make it an open world too, which I'm pretty sure the open world aspect might have actually was the one that stabbed them real hard. So it's like, yeah. So I'm glad you guys shut the fuck up and you learned how to shut the fuck up and be patient. So make sure from now on, shut the fuck up and be patient. As for the games being released, it's like, oh, the console, like, again, you don't know what you're asking for. That's the sad part. You don't know what you're asking for. And will they ever release them like that? It's like, I kind of doubt it. You should have just got the 3DS and got it when you could have. 3DS is a nice system, a comfortable system. And at least it's a smaller screen than the Switch. Because Switch 2, do you really want to have the stretch thing? I stretch the freaking, I stretch the screen. Because that's what you had to do with the the Game Boy player. So you had to stretch the screen versus it's just going to be a small screen. So you should have basically, again, got the 3DS when it was going down. Well, when the eShop was going down, you should have got the 3DS, should have made yourself an account, should have you can go to GameStop at that point and get the freaking things for $5 versus $10. Because if you had the freaking month coupon, which that's what I did, and I was able to get, I got more, I got even then some cards. I got then some cards. So it's like, yeah, I got a lot of freaking. I got instead of paying $60, I paid $30 for each of them, for all of them all together. So you missed out. Your fault. You could have had them. The only messed up part is that red and blue again. They're the Game Boy Color versions, not the Game Boy Color versions. Which I want the Game Boy Color versions, but I don't know how to even. It's like, do they have a toggle in there? They might. I didn't really look in there because I'm like, you should have said that in the presentation. You should have already said that. Oh yeah, well, there we go. We got it for you. Versus they didn't say it in that one. They just said that they're releasing them. I missed the cards though. I missed the cards to get them though. It kind of sucks, but yeah, I missed those cards. I would have liked to have excuse me, the e cards of them, but I don't have them. I didn't get to have them. Instead, I get to look at Luigi's ass. Yeah, just Luigi looking at me. Six Luigis looking at me. Why did you pick Luigi? Why did you pick Luigi? Why did you pick Luigi? Like, dang. Why did you pick Luigi? But anyways, yeah, that's all I wanted to just talk about. It's like I'm ready for the Switch 2, but give me a good version. And he thinks, like Austin thinks that they're gonna give us a good version of it released. They're gonna release a good version of the Pokemon one. They already have one for Switch coming, I mean for Splatoon coming soon. But for Pokemon, maybe. And I'm like, what I hope is the Pokeball edition or something. It's like make it something that I'm like, okay, awesome. And don't do a Pikachu version. Because the Pikachu edition, I'm sorry, but I'm not cool with it. I just want to have what's on the screen. The Pokeball. You made a Pokeball edition. I don't see why you can't make another one again. It doesn't make sense. And if not, I guess I'll just wait for the Switch Micro, Switch Lite 2, whatever you want to call it, Switch 2 Lite, or I don't know what you're going to call it, but I'll wait for that one. At least that one will, as like, those are the ones that should be looking. That's what the console should look like. If you would have just went with Diamond and Pearl, even though it's like, oh, the remakes. Oh my gosh. Heck, if you would have went with Legend Deoxys, what's not Deoxys? Legend Arceus, went with that as the Switch console, I might have bought that one. It would have been white with some green on it, maybe some gold. I think that would have been a cool one. It's like that seems like an easy one to do. I mean, yes, the buttons will be gold. Yeah, it's like one will be gold, one will be green. I think the small buttons will be green. I don't know. All I can tell you is that they also dropped the ball. Like, yeah, it's like they also dropped the ball on it, but we'll see. Hopefully, since the Switch did good and, you know, that microaggressions, passive aggressive moments in Switch. actually just shows that, hey, you guys suck shit about the Wii U. Hopefully, we're past that, and hopefully, they can now just take a big step forward and just let everything go because Switch did great. So please, 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 please stop backstabbing even the ones that have been supporting you because it's like, I've been supporting you. I didn't try to screw you at all. Not at all. I didn't try to screw you whatsoever. Yeah, I might have broke one thing to say Zygarde is ugly, and I take it back now. Eternus is ugly as hell. Eternus is the ugly one. I'm sorry. Eternus is ugly. What the frick? But still, though, it's like, I really hope that we end on a good note to be like, the Switch did great. Please, no more passive aggressive stuff. Please.